Welcome back, everybody, to what has been a wild episode of Monday Night Raw here of WWE 2K Universe Mode. My goodness, if you haven't seen part one, this is part two of week number 3 in October on the road to Halloween Havoc. This is Monday, week 3, October, and this is part 2 of our Monday Night Raw. My goodness, in part 1, and we're about to kick things off with a 6-woman tag team matchup with rivals and new rivals here. As in part 1, I mean, we saw, and go check it out. You can see the archive on YouTube if you haven't seen it yet in part 1. But my goodness, and here come the Twisted Sisters who lost to Toxic Attraction last week, turning their singles match with Retribution into a triple threat matchup coming up at Halloween Havoc. We haven't seen much from Retribution. Maybe coming up on SmackDown or something. We'll see something. We're going to see T-Bar and Mace in your Patreon main event tonight. These are the Twisted Sisters, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. And Twisted Sanity. That's right, I forgot I changed their name. Whoops. I've been calling them the Twisted Sisters. Yeah, Twisted Sanity. I completely forgot that I changed their name. Oh my God. Twisted Sanity, Alexa Bliss, and Nikki Cross here. So yeah, part 1 of Raw. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. We started things off with, it was supposed to be the Queens against Kiwi Glow. Becky Lynch inserted herself into that matchup. We saw Matt Riddle attempt. We're still waiting for a medical report. But we saw Matt Riddle a week after sending his tag team partner to the hospital, sending one of his closest friends to the hospital as well, in Jordan Devlin, what we assume broken ankle, just completely taking out, destroying Jordan Devlin. A new look, Matt Riddle. We're going to see Gargano in theory later tonight in our main event with the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal to crown Kevin Owens #1 contender at Halloween Havoc. And then we just saw the 24/7 championship on the line impromptu, involving an electrocution, a broken leg, a 20-foot drop. That all happened in part 1. So go check it out in the archives on YouTube. But part 2 kicking off in a huge way here. I mean, it's off the charts. We got The Miz coming up next as he's continuing his big feud with Roderick Strong. He's going to be going up against a young up-and-comer. And then in our part 2 main event, it's going to be Cedric Alexander versus Bobby Lashley as that bitter feud continues between the Hurt Business and Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and Montez Ford. And how about some team names for those 3 as well? I want your suggestions. Let me know in the comments. Let us know in the chat if you're watching on Twitch. Hit the follow button. Let me know in the comments on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button. And do check us out at patreon.com/tvsports27 because we have an exclusive Patreon WWE Dark match coming your way tonight. And we're also going to run through the NXT results for you. And one thing I've thought about playing around with, I'll have to see what you guys think about it, where I wouldn't do the commentary over it, but I would simulate the matches. Would you guys, for those of you that are on Patreon, let me know in the comments, would you guys like to see the episodes of NXT streamed on Patreon? That's something I would consider doing. Again, it wouldn't have my commentary over it. I can only yell and do so much, preserving the voice here. But we could just stream it because it'd be something I can do during the day. Stream it, throw it on in the background, let you guys check out the matches. And it's something I can certainly do. It'd be computer versus computer with the in-game commentary, but I can throw it up on Patreon. Let me know if that's something you like. Or I can do that and I can maybe commentate the main event or something. I just don't know if I would have time. Like, I can easily throw it on in the background and simulate the matches. And like I said, toss it up on Patreon if you guys want to see the NXT stuff. But I wouldn't have time to sit down and do the full commentary like I am now because I am still working a full-time job. So that's why the commentary wouldn't be there. But let me know. Either way, if that's something you guys would like to see on our Patreon page, I'll throw it up there. Let me know in the comments here. And if you guys want to see a little NXT coming up, we're only 1 month away since we're in week 3. Next month is a non-NXT takeover month. So that means we are going to bring back, for the first time, WWE Main Event. It used to be our Saturday show, and now Main Event is going to be on every non-takeover week, and it would be right in the middle. So Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, stuff like that. And there's a cover there. Nikki Cross trying to get payback on Toxic Attraction, and that is going to involve WWE talent, NXT talent, but it is also going to have 3 matches. I haven't figured out what the names of those are going to be, like sudden death, call-up matches, but it is going to feature WWE superstars, NXT superstars, but 3 matches on Main Event are going to be NXT call-up opportunities. You're going to see 3 matches on every episode of Main Event where NXT will take on WWE, and if an NXT superstar wins, they get promoted to the main roster. If a WWE superstar loses, then they will be sent down to NXT, where they have to rehabilitate their career and try to bounce back and make it back to the main roster. So how about that little twist? As we were doing WWE Main Event as a Saturday stream, as like a third episode here, but we heard the request from you guys. You guys wanted to get to the pay-per-views quicker, because previously we were doing 3 episodes, Raw, SmackDown, and Main Event, meaning that we were streaming 12 times before we got to a pay-per-view, and then of course we're breaking them up into episodes here. So with cutting out Main Event, now it's only 8 streams before we get to the pay-per-view, and that's something that a lot of you guys were requesting, and we kind of turned the Main Event into this format here. So let me know again if you guys like that. Do you guys like Main Event being the place where NXT superstars can get the call-up? We were using NXT superstars on Main Event previous. Or do you miss Main Event as a weekly stream show? Let me know, because we had some big matches on Main Event, but it's going to be kind of like our Clash of the Champions, our Battle of the Belts. Alexa Bliss nearly getting the 3 count here on Sonya Deville. Of course, Asuka and Bianca Belair have been at each other's throats for quite a long time here. They had a ladder match at Clash of the Champions, and then Toxic Attraction and Twisted Sanity recently. Twisted Sanity not happy because they were number 1 contenders, and then they lost to Toxic Attraction, turning it into a triple threat match coming up here at Halloween Havoc. The cover by Sonya Deville and a kick out by Alexa Bliss. Sonya Deville taunting, getting up in the face of the fans here in what has been a crazy, a chaotic, a busy episode, a wild episode, an episode of, unfortunately, I would imagine, Killshot and Jordan Devlin off to the medical facility, maybe allegedly Dakota Kai as well, if you believe her story, why she couldn't compete in the matchup earlier tonight. Asuka has Nikki Cross. Did her head just bounce off the steel steps? Mandy Rose nearly getting a 3 count. That would have been back-to-back victories for Toxic Attraction over Twisted Sanity. You guys can believe that. Submission locked in. We can't see anything. Good Lord, with this camera shot. There's a good picture of an R. I believe somebody's struggling in a submission. It's it's chaos right now. We got Mr. Maple, one of our Patreons, joining us in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Maple, he is saying, go. Oh, there you guys said go Asuka, but for the 2nd week in a row, it is going to be Toxic Attraction getting a victory here. So Toxic Attraction picking up a lot of momentum, and obviously it wouldn't hurt our feelings if they took those titles away from Retribution, but another victory there is Mr. Maple. You got Asuka didn't get the win, but Asuka's team got the win. So Mr. Maple, a little excited there in the chat, but there you have it. Wow. And there's your win. And ladies and gentlemen, we said we haven't heard much from Retribution. Well, as we're getting some pomp and circumstance here, Retaliation and Reckoning do make an appearance, and they're going to put a beat down to Asuka, to Taki, just everybody that's in the ring. It's a Retribution, it's Retaliation, it's Reckoning, and they come in, they lay them all out. So the chaotic night on Monday Night Raw, it just continues. I mean, it's just chaos, pure chaos, left and right. Jack Tunney, I mean, he's been remoting in all this stuff. Jack Tunney might need to just show up at one point in time to put a god-dang stop to everything that's going on, because it is absolute chaos right now in WWE. So forget about it. But coming up next, we're going to see, speaking of NXT, a huge opportunity for an NXT superstar. Andre Chase, professor of Chase University. He's going to go one-on-one with The Miz here. And we're hearing official confirmation now. If Roderick Strong, he is in the Battle Royal tonight. So if he wins, this match obviously will not take place. But if Roderick Strong is not victorious, then we are going to get the return match that we have been waiting on. Roderick Strong versus The Miz at Halloween Havoc, a rematch from their hard-hitting fight that they had on Monday Night Raw just earlier this month at the beginning of October. So there you go. Huge opportunity there. Maybe Roderick Strong do double duty, beat up The Miz and go for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Can you hear this bell going off? Luna, the official mascot, TV Sports 27, is in a play mood. She is ready to go. She has slept off all her energy today, and she's ready. So we got to keep the attention a little bit. But Miz and Andre Chase. Of course, Miz, accompanied by his wife, Maryse, father of two, The Miz. And here we go. There's been speculation abound as well, as it just seems like, what is happening up on the rampway right there? Do you guys see that? Maryse having a hard time. Miz might want to check on his wife. These trios are just building like crazy right now in WWE, and people are wondering, of course, we haven't seen Tommaso Ciampa in a time. There's perhaps talks of a new trio forming with Strong, Ciampa, and a third member. Perhaps a Drew Gulak or something. And, you know, Miz used to have trios of himself, the Miz Taraj as well. So we got to keep a lookout here, as, you know, we just kind of have the trios feuding like crazy. We have, we had Angelo Dawkins turn his back on his partner and form a trio. We had Matt Riddle do the same thing, attack his partner and form a trio. The same storylines. It's going like crazy. Miz and Andre Chase here on part 2 of Monday Night Raw. And Andre Chase, I don't know what's happening with his face right now. Oh my goodness, though. Give me a C. Give me an A. Give me an R bar. Andre Chase, arm bar. That'd make 1990s Chris Jericho proud. Miz, though, oh my God, closed fist. Referee discretion here. You might want to call something at some point. Boot to the midsection, and DDT onto. Is he busted open? He may very well be. Nice big boot there. Strong boot by the Miz, and Miz now working over the ankle here of Andre Chase. Coming up next on Monday Night Raw, Cedric Alexander versus Bobby Lashley to cap off our episode 2, our part 2 main event here of October's week 3 Monday Night Raw Universe Mode. And of course, you know Universe Mode, how it works. It's 4 weeks. Pay-per-views typically the last week, so if you can keep that in mind. We try to show off the Universe calendar, but there's 4 weeks. Raw's on Monday, SmackDown on Fridays, pay-per-view on Sunday at the end of the month. So this is week 3 Monday Night Raw. And of course, our main event still to come, the 20-man over the top rope battle royal to crown the number 1 contender. I mean, Austin Theory, Johnny Gargano in that match, Roderick Strong, Edge, AJ Styles, I think Seth Rollins in there, Intercontinental Champion Bobby Roode is in that matchup. So it's going to be a who's who Omos is in that matchup. You know, Omos has been hungry for championship gold since coming up just short of his dreams at Clash of the Champions. Andre Chase now starting to put up a fight now. He is an NXT superstar, so a huge opportunity for him. Somebody, obviously Jack Tunney, must have liked what he saw to give Andre Chase this opportunity, but this is like a little preview of what you guys are going to get at Main Event coming up in 1 month's time in November, where an opportunity, 3 opportunities for NXT superstars, and I think a lot of people are looking at Legado del Fantasma, they're looking at a Samoa Joe, and possibly a Timothy Thatcher, maybe a Raquel Rodriguez, who's been in the mix as well with the Women's Championship. Maybe all your champions, maybe that's who it should be. Maybe your champions should all be the ones that get their opportunity. What do you guys think? It's going to be up to a panel of judges, almost like gut check. Ric Flair, Taz, Bruce Pritchard, all the judges. Miz having quite a deal of trouble. I think more than he anticipated with Andre Chase. And Miz just working over Chase with those DDTs. Whatever it takes, right? Shot to the face, and Miz, skull-crushing finale. Couple of DDTs, skull-crushing finale into the cover. And there it is, Miz continuing his winning ways. The rematch, Miz versus Roderick Strong, coming up at Halloween Havoc. And it was a fist fight. Go watch it. The first time these guys fought, it was a war. Maybe it needs to be like Falls Count Anywhere or something, because the ring can't contain these guys. It's going to be a big-time show. We ran down the card on the first part of this episode of Halloween Havoc, so do check it out. But there you go. The Miz. Winner here tonight. All right, it is time for our part 2 main event here. And it is Cedric Alexander going one-on-one with the Hurt Business's Bobby Lashley. Of course, all 6 of these guys could have easily been part of this battle royal, but they wanted their opportunity to go at it. First time for Cedric and Bobby Lashley to go one-on-one. Of course, we saw Ford and Dawkins go toe-to-toe at Clash of the Champions last month. I mean, it's a WCW City Clash of the Champions, Halloween Havoc. Come on. Of course, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, recently part of NXT, got the call up. And they're here backing up, yes, Montez Ford. As Ford needed a little bit of backup.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing in at 200 pounds, Cedric.
And we haven't decided yet if this is going to be a permanent tag team. You guys let me know. Do you guys want to see this to be a permanent trio? Or do you guys want to see this, what the plan would be to kind of go their separate ways after the feud with the Hurt Business? Mr. Maple says, I want to see these guys stay as a team. So there you go. Will we get trios WWE championships? All these trios starting, huh? Here's the Hurt Business MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Angelo Dawkins. Of course, former Hurt Business members, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. And interesting to note that there had been consideration for a time of Omos and Apollo Crews. They had a loose relationship for a time, and it seems like Omos has been focusing on his world championship aspirations. So they've, in the meantime, this union that we were looking at has not gone down. So here we go. Cedric Alexander, Bobby Lashley, one-on-one. That should be a big-time battle. Lashley has Alexander. Oh, right on the top of the buckle here. Now Lashley, foot across the throat. It's going to be a tall order for Cedric Alexander. And you're just seeing the obvious advantage that Bobby Lashley has right now over Cedric Alexander. The height advantage, the weight advantage, the strength advantage, but guess where the advantage lies for Cedric? Right there. The quickness and the speed. But you can't miss those moves because that's going to put you in a world of hurt against the Hurt Business. And you see Shelton's kind of like, what the heck has happened out there? It's been mostly Bobby Lashley in control here. This is our Part 2 main event. In Part 3, you guys are going to get the 20-man over-the-top rope Battle Royal, the main event of Monday Night Raw. So stay tuned for that, but also stay tuned because over on Patreon, patreon.com/tvsports27, for the very first time, the Heyman Empire and Retribution are going to war. It's Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns teaming up against T-Bar and Mace in a no-holds-barred matchup, which means anything can happen. Kevin Owens can get involved. Machine can get involved. Slapjack, Kane, Mustafa Ali, any of those guys can get involved as the war for this ownerless WWE that's being held together by interim president Jack Tunney. Right now, we know WWE is for sale. We've talked about the different bidders that have been putting in bids over the last couple of months, including Paul Heyman. I don't know how that check doesn't bounce. We've heard of The Rock putting some. We've heard of possibly Stone Cold Steve Austin. Pat McAfee just signed an $80 million contract with ESPN, so he's got a lot of money to throw around. His name has been in the mix as well. There's just been so many people. Of course, Cameron Grimes, who's a rich man that hit it big in the GameStop stock market. He's made it big. So a lot of people have been putting their bid in. Jack Tunney has made it known he does not want to do this full time. He came back on an interim basis. He did it before. He's happy to come in and help out in WWE's time of need, but not going to happen full time for Mr. Tunney. He's enjoying retirement up in the I think he's up in Toronto Island or something, right outside the CN Tower. How about that quickness? Cedric Alexander countering Bobby Lashley into that attack. Back elbow there for Cedric. Taking down Lashley. Armbar locked in here. Alexander pounding away at Lashley. Sweeping the feet. And Lashley, he might be looking, oh my goodness, and yet there it is. The full Nelson locked in. He wants to put this one away. Can Cedric Alexander hang on? He's hanging on, folks. Look at Alexander. And Lashley. Bobby Lashley in frustration. Throwing down Cedric Alexander. Now just simply going to go for the cover. Oh, and it's a 3 count. Well, he couldn't get Alexander to tap out, but he may have gotten Alexander to pass out in that submission. Dominant victory for Bobby Lashley and a dominant win for the Hurt Business here as Lashley pins Cedric Alexander. Coming up, folks, in Part 3, if you're watching live on twitch.tv, we encourage you to come back because Part 3 will be going live in a couple of seconds. If you're watching on YouTube, you got an episode of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming your way tomorrow, and then the day after, it's going to be the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal where we will crown the #1 contender to the WWE Undisputed Championship, Kevin Owens, at Halloween Havoc, and that match will be a spin the wheel, make the deal match. My goodness, big business coming up. Join us as well, patreon.com/tvsports27 if you guys want to see WWE Dark Lesnar and Lesnar and Roman Reigns versus T-Bar and Mace. And if we get 10 Patreons over the next 2 months, before the month of August, if we get 10 new Patreons, AEW Fight Forever will stream in here with you guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you for Part 3, the 20-man over-the-top rope battle royal to wrap up Monday Night Raw.